Following some breaking news, 3 former Memphis police officers have just been found not guilty on all charges in the state trial over the beating death of Tyre Nicolas.
The jury reaching that verdict on just the second day of deliberations. Let's get right to NBC News correspondent George Solis. He's been tracking this. He joins us now. George, take us through the verdict and the reaction inside the court.
Yeah, this verdict was unanimous over the course of 2 days after a trial that started back on April 28th. The jury coming back and delivering a not guilty verdict for all of the 7 counts in this indictment. They are as followed. The most serious, of course, being that second-degree murder charge. You heard the jury there saying not guilty for Demetrius Haley, Tadarius Bean, and Justice Smith. On count 2 for the aggravated assault act in concert, not guilty. For count 3, aggravated kidnapping, not guilty. Count 4, aggravated kidnapping, not guilty. Count 5, official misconduct, and then count 6, which was another count of official misconduct, both not guilty. And then count 7, that official oppression charge, also found not guilty. Within the courtroom, you saw a number of hugs that were taking place, obviously from the officers. They're the former officers, their elation on their faces after this verdict was read. Again, these 3 officers still face the prospect of years in prison after they were convicted in federal court of charges last year. Again, these were for the state charges. Some more reaction coming in forthcoming. We are waiting to hear from attorney Ben Crump, who we understand also put out a statement shortly after this verdict was read. We'll go ahead and get that to you. We have not heard at this point if there's any reaction from the mother of Tyre Nicolas, who was one of the state's witnesses in this case. Very emotional, again, during this trial that began back on April 28th. Pretty quick turnaround when you consider how much this jury was charged with, going down this list of charges. 21 counts between the 3 officers overall. But again, at this hour, the 7-count indictment, the jury coming back finding not guilty for all of these charges. And again, we'll wait to see what the sentencing is for those federal charges. Again, this story developing over the course of this case, guys. I should note there were 21 witnesses brought in total. The state only bringing up 5, including Tyre Nicolas' mother. Defense bringing 17 witnesses to this case. Again, reaction still forthcoming, and we're waiting to see if the former officers, have any reaction post this verdict, guys.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
And this one of my child accountability due to the recent acquittal of 3 former Memphis police officers that was acquitted in state court on Wednesday of all charges against them, including second-degree unaliving of Mr. Tyre Nicolas, a black man that was brutally beaten in 2023, stunning the nation. It was the second trial of the 3 former officers, Demetri Ellaby, Darren Dean, and Justin Smith, who was accused of fatally beating Mr. Nicolas, a FedEx driver who had been driving home from work when he was stopped by the officers more than 2 years ago. The verdict was a sharp contrast of the outcome for the defendants in a previous trial federal charge. All 3 were found guilty of witness tampering charges in that case, but acquitted of more serious charges of violating Mr. Nicolas' rights by causing his death. The federal jury also found him guilty of violating his civil rights by causing bodily harm. The jury in the state case that took place in Chattanooga, Tennessee, the eastern part of the state. The trial took 7 days in Detroit. The jury deliberated for 8.5 hours. Let me say this. Mr. Nicolas is no longer here as a result of contact with police officers. He passed away from his injuries as a result of the running that fatal night with police officers. They actually have body cam footage of this encounter on body cam, on their body cam. What are we talking about? So we know if it wasn't for the encounter and with the officers, it's possible Mr. Nichols would still be alive today. I know they was convicted on federal charges and they faced time. I know they lost their jobs. But there's no way a jury in the state of Tennessee or any state can find these men not guilty. We know this gentleman lost his life as a result of his contact with these officers. And we've seen it from their body cam. I did an episode on this about the initial days after Mr. Nichols was attacked and brutally unalive. Episode 52 of Just My Opinion. I labeled that one Stop. So if you want to go back and check that out, check that out. In that episode, I was speaking upon Mr. Nichols and the state of policing in America. And why is it that blacks seems to always be at the end of police brutality and violence? We're always at the end of the stick. We're always the ones being unfairly and unfortunately brutalized and taken advantage of by the police. This is disheartening when you have evidence that these men violated this man. This man beat and took this man's life, but yet still they can be found not guilty. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Please explain it to me. It don't make sense. How can a jury sit there and say not guilty when a man isn't here anymore? Let me say rest in peace, Mr. Nichols. My condolences to his family and friends. Come on, police, you have to do better. Black lives do matter. We don't have to continue to be beaten upon and killed by the people that we're paying their salaries. We're taxpayers too. We help pay your salaries. Your job is protect and preserve and defend, not to beat and demean us. That's not your job. I want to say like, share, and subscribe to all my supporters, all my subscribers, anybody that like, share, and subscribe, or comment, or dislike, or like. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Hold your head, Chris Rock. Thank you.